Should we be concerned that Betty White was just like, no thanks 2022? Because if you think about the only difference between Paul Walker and Betty White was that Paul Walker hit 100 before he died, I guess that's a problem to focus on in the future. No need to get worried right now anyway, not like Ark Survival Evolved could wait for a day or two right. Today I decided to visit a new base. This hidden rat hole base was actually in one of my videos. It's on top of the stalagmites below the center map. Normally this spot is great because at most angles you don't see the base. Little Timmy here however decided that he was going to build like a meth-infused glue stick sniffer, so his base was evidently very visible, leaving me with the unfortunate situation of having to take responsible decisions like saving his pixelated cryopods from neglect. My tactic was simple: I get on the rock with crack-addicted Spider-Man here, climb up avoiding the turrets and blowing a hole in the side of the base. What could possibly go wrong? Normally the answer to that question would be everything, but this time around it was actually just that bippity-boopity easy. It's almost like if people that play on official servers have never really had the chance to experience normal player interactions, they all just woke up one day and went. Yet today's the day I build up a base on officials only to have a 2000 damage Barney the dinosaur eat my thatch house, and they're all just okay with it, brave souls. Anyway, my current goal is to make it past Ankelo Ren here so I can get to the door, but just like in the movies he's being nothing but a huge burden on the story. So instead of just letting the man finish his acting career, I opt to murder him. You better be taking notes, George Lucas. I'm going to level with you guys. I don't know if George Lucas was responsible for the last movies. Ankelo Ren is dead and the adventure continues. Or at least whenever I stop having a stroke. You know what I heard though? Pizza helps people avoid having strokes. It's 100% true. Sadly pizza is a bit expensive. Like I want pizza but I don't want to pay for pizza. This means that I need a pizza daddy. A Papa John if you will. Yeah, I nailed that one. Moving on, we place our favorite type of Play-Doh on the door, you know, the one that leaves a taste of grapefruit and cyanide in your mouth. Then we proceed to cryopod the crack spider into his Pokemon ball. And lastly we shuffle our nimble body under the staircase in an act of cosplaying Harry Potter before the family tradition of beating the bullied orphan for shits and giggles. Let's all take a moment and thank Alfred Nobel for ever discovering the idea of explosives, my friends. Just like Alibaba and the 40 thieves, we say open sesame and voila, riches beyond our deepest desires. But where there is riches there's usually crazy philanthropist billionaires, and in our case we hit the guy with Indortrodons. Do you know what kind of psychopath you have to have Indortrodons? Nevertheless, this is an official server, so obviously, everything this guy has comes from buying from Pocket Dev's Ark. Thus explaining why his dinosaurs' turrets and dignity is up for grabs without struggle. Anything with a pulse is set to passive, which is wonderful news for us, so we pull out the last of our strap-on Powerade and wrap the last door in C4 explosives. Thus finally declaring any chance of anyone stopping us from yoinking the loot. Flawless victory if you ask me. The majority of the vaults seem to be pin-coded, so I guess it's soon time for Doug Jones to make his next official appearance. Oh look, a surplus of overpowered blueprints. How incredibly unsatisfying. This is what it must feel like being rich without struggle. Horrible. Well, guess it's time to summon our dear Doug Jones. You know, the honest truth is I give Doug Jones the actor a lot of shit for always choosing to act as furry creatures, but frankly, his life must be quite difficult, you know, with the government doing their best from stopping him becoming the furry lord he is destined to be. Luckily, by raising the atmosphere degrees with a few Celsius, that ain't going to happen. Take that, you furry drag queen lover. Well, would you look at that, it's Barney the dinosaur's steroid pump cousin rocking a 2000 plus damage stat, which makes you think official PvP really must be very hard, right? Everything in this cryo fridge is far beyond your average Bob stats, and sure, I'm super happy that I found this lovable charity. But at the same time it just makes me want to quit on the spot, because at this point there's no more goals to achieve. It's a hard life being Elon Musk Jr. Guess the only thing that remains in life at this point is answering the lifelong question, are the windows of the White House bulletproof? And another question I should ask myself is, how many watch lists did I just get added to? The answer is probably none. Joke's on you, I'm European. Pull up. Back to focusing on the loot. Haha, joke's on you, I'm speeding it up because I can. Sue me. Honestly, what the hell do I do now? I'm a solo player with overpowered dinosaurs. the game is ruined already on episode 2. We might as well start to go ahead and pronounce the letter L in salmon. Nothing matters anymore, arc is ruined. He said in the most dramatical fashion. I guess I could take up religion, give that nonsense a whirl. In the end we are all atheists until we end up clogging a toilet in someone else's house. Maybe that should be my next thing. Randomly breaking into strangers' houses and utilizing their bathrooms to their full potential. I could see it being a trendy video. Anyway, the space has no toilet, thus no need for the space anymore. This raid made me feel bipolar, honestly. Well, before taking any permanent decisions I opt to give the steroid pump Barney the dinosaurs a spin. I headed over to server 615, which is Barry Seal's server, thinking I might catch someone coming to the blue obelisk. In less than 15 seconds someone popped up, and within seconds of acting on my emotions I instantly managed to mess it up. Not only did I forget about cryo sickness, but I also forgot that people actually have high levels on these servers, meaning everyone has movement speed set to Speedy Gonzalez level. Knowing full well that I'm wearing more or less primitive flak gear, I opt to run my fat little legs over to a wall. Now, while provocatively showing my fearless courage, I wait for our friend to come back and beat my ass like a father from the 1970s. Except it seems like our friend is more cautious than I would have imagined. Nevertheless, he does show up. Internally I'm screaming of fear, but externally I pretend that this shit doesn't faze me. He takes some distance and decides to summon his own Barney the dinosaur. Knowing that this is my only chance, I quickly turn around and go for the chomping war. He panics and pedals backward, quickly figuring out that he's made a mistake. He stands his ground, but I get lucky. That being said, this is official PvP, so there are no winners. I die quickly after the rage meter hits. We spawn back in, and much like Usain Bolt on crack, I sprint back to the scene of the crime. While I get closer I start to completely calmly spam the attack target button. Thinking, shit, I've got the advantage clearly. Needless to say, much like a lot of the choices in my life, I was wrong and quickly get a first-person perspective of what a prison violation looks like. Adding insult to injury, I also get gangbanged by the local wildlife. Fun times. You know what's worse than being beaten in a fight? Being treated to respectful sympathy. I guess our friend here took a look at my broken flak when he looted my corpse and discovered how shitty my flak was. So instead of rubbing his victory in my face, this guy has the audacity to be kind to me and give me his broken flak, which means I'm officially running maxed out flak durability. As well as him throwing in his Barney that I just fought with, since you know being poor is apparently a war crime or something. Needless to say, I love that bastard and I hope he lives forever. Well, that being done, I take the loot and run as fast as I can before our friend changes his mind and pulls a shoot the poor man in the back scenario on me. That is it for this episode. Thanks for watching and hope you all have a good one and stay safe out there, lunatics.